Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Business Plugs Mixer. Hi, my name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug, and you've just tuned in to the Business Plugs Mixer. We're here on Sundays evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, talking about business conversations with business people for business people. And so I'm so excited about our guest today. We're going to talk about blissfulness and how that fits in your life. So I'm really excited about that. But before I go there, let me tell you two things so that my team is pleased. The first thing is if you are needing support getting certified, please reach out to me because I'm helping businesses get their state, local, and federal certification. So if that's something you're working on, something you'd like to learn more about, reach out to me. Also, in this season, I'm doing startups. Like I'm helping businesses start up. I'm right back here. That's where I started. I'm back here helping people start up. So I'm considering doing an online class, and I need to make sure that I have enough people online that are interested. So if you want to talk about your business, or if your business is struggling and you want the 360, the LSMB 360 assessment, we comb through your business to find out what's not working, and we unclog it, unstuck it, and whatever so you can move forward to your greatness. So that link is wherever you're watching this as well. And with that, all the housekeeping done, I would like to introduce you all to Samantha Gregory. Hello, Samantha. How are you?
Hi, Linda. I'm doing great. How are you today?
Very well. So tell my audience, who is Samantha Gregory?
Well, I'm Samantha Gregory, the tech wellness consultant, aka Self-Care Alchemist, and I help business owners transform their business and personal burnout from burnout to balance to bliss.
Absolutely. And this is ideally for what level of business?
Oh, this is for pretty much most levels of business, all levels of business. I do work with women-owned businesses who've been in for about 2 to 3 years, and they already have established some solidity in their business, and now they're trying to either scale or they're trying to find more balance because they have poured so much into their business, and now it's becoming almost not necessarily unmanageable, but they need a better grasp on things because when you have different systems doing different things and you haven't been able to integrate them yet, you are doing a lot of manual work, you're doing a lot of um, just busy work. And so you're working in your business more than on your business. And
Wow.
so if you're in that space, that's where I come in and I help you systemize and then also come up with a self-care and or stress management strategy.
I love that. I love that because what comes to my mind is I've been in conversations where women have said, "Well, I've been doing this business 3 or 4 years. I've been doing this business 5 years. I've been doing this business 10 years, and I am just pooped. I am just tired of it. I am
Yes.
just not wanting to breathe another day of this, right?" And
Mhm.
so you come in and help them to get re-engaged because they're burnt out. They've
Yes.
thrown all the things against the wall. They're tired of throwing. They're tired of doing. And so they've lost their passion
Mhm.
for why they began, and you help them to get re-engaged.
Yes, I help you get re-engaged, get find out, remember what your why is, remember
Mm,
who you are, because oftentimes, whether it's a relationship and a personally or it's a business, you forget who you really are because you've identified so much so deeply with the business. So you're
mm,
the CEO, you're the CFO, you're wearing all these different hats, and so you forgot
yeah,
the core of who you are. So I help you re-engage in that way as well.
absolutely. I love, love, love that because and before I go a step further, let me give a shout out to the Chattanooga Business Elite. Did your nominations this week. Congratulations to all the nominees to the Chattanooga Business Black Business Excellence. Let me shout you out. I have your shirt on to make sure I do that. But getting back to our conversation, when you are in a business and you're doing all the things, like
Mhm.
you are everything to everybody and some, because when I have business owners that work in one segment of a company, they only see that little niche that they work in.
Right.
But when they're an entrepreneur, you're everything. You're all the
Mhm.
different things. And so it's easy. Like
Yes.
if a person's not burnt out, say they've been in their business a couple of years and they're not really burned out.
Hmm.
Feel the steam leaving, the
Yes.
excitement, because that first year you're like, yes, buy from me, everybody. But then after it slows down and the friends stop coming and you don't have
Hmm.
enough friends really to keep it going and you can't find new
Right.
customers and you're spending all this money out and you're seeing no money in. What is the process with you to get them back engaged? What does that look like?
That looks like really sitting down and assessing. It's always
Mm,
about the assessment and seeing where you are now. Because a lot of times you get so down in the details that you can't see the big picture anymore. And
absolutely.
so we really want to see, where are you right now? Where do you want to be? And what's the gap? Because
Mm,
oftentimes there is a gap where from where you are currently to where you want to be, and we sit down and we talk about it. And then oftentimes we've overcomplicated things in our business, and so it's like, okay, let's look at it and see how we can
mm,
simplify your processes. Look at all the processes, simplify those processes either with automation, delegation, or outsourcing, so that you can get clear again, so that you can. It's because it's like this whole cloud of things above you, and it's like, I don't know which way to go. I don't know where to go,
absolutely.
because not only do I do help you with the technology piece, but I help you with the business piece as well, and the process piece, because that informs how you're going to automate. Because you need to really be really intimately aware of your business.
Hmm.
And oftentimes we're so busy in the business where we're not really aware of
Absolutely.
all the things and all the processes that happen on a day-to-day basis, even though you're in it. But your systems may be doing, your tools may be doing something, your assistant may be doing something, you may be doing 1,000 things. So we want to really sit down and get really clear first, and then
Absolutely.
see where the gaps are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I recommend that because you can lose your way. And like you
Yes.
said, you can lose yourself. And you're doing all these things. And even if you're a successful business, like it doesn't really matter. Like I was addressing the ones who are not being successful, like they're not seeing the fruit of their labors yet. And so it becomes, a burden to them. But then there's
Mhm.
also people who are successful and they're overwhelmed by their
Yes,
success.
absolutely. That's a good problem to have, yes, but then how long can you sustain that? That is the
Exactly.
question. And if you don't have
Exactly.
processes in place, if you don't have automations in place, if you
Mm,
don't have delegation plans in place, then you're going to drown in it. And I've seen and heard so many businesses that close because the success was too much too fast. And
yeah.
so we really want to kind of, before you get to that point, you want to get those things in place, and so you can not be so steeped in the business, but you can start working on the business,
Absolutely.
and be a true business owner, not a just a self-employed.
Absolutely, absolutely. And talk about how did you come to have this to be the thing that you offer to the world?
Well, because I decided one day I really wanted to um, share my experience, some expertise, some education. And I was always a go-to person for advice about business, starting up a business, or your technology in business, or and even outside of business, because even if you're an executive, even if you are a white collar worker, blue collar worker, the technology is here.
Hmm.
It's not going to go anywhere. And so people come to me with questions because I was always really curious about it. And so I decided, okay, well, let me help, especially the women who are overwhelmed and stressed with the technology, with
Yeah,
business ideas and strategy. And I, hung out my shingle. I was answering questions anyway, so why not make money from it?
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I really enjoy it. I really enjoy seeing people um, really have a aha moment, their light bulb moments, and really solve the problems that they're facing in their business.
I love that. I love that. And so you've been doing this for how long?
I have been doing this as a dualpreneur, so I had a full-time job as well as my business for about 20 years. And
Yeah.
I've been doing full-time for about a year and a half on this business. And so it's kind of, I've had ebbs and flows, just like everyone else.
Absolutely.
Um, but this has been like the most. I think it's been almost 2 years now,
Okay.
where I have done this particular business as a tech wellness consultant.
I love it. I love it. And so you can help the businesses who feel like they're stuck, right?
Hmm.
Like I don't want to do it anymore. It's no longer fun.
Yeah.
you know,
And- yeah. Yeah.
finding and sometimes doesn't that look like you may be doing the wrong thing?
It could look like that, especially if you have lost the purpose. If you are kind of caught up in the shiny object syndrome, if
Mm,
you have been trying to do a million and one things to make the business work, or even just to make money, it can start to feel like, this is really not what I want to do anymore, or maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. And so to take a step back
mm,
and to integrate not just systems and automation and delegation, but really self-care as well, because we can beat ourselves up so badly when it
oh yeah,
feels like we're doing the wrong thing. We can make ourselves wrong when in fact
absolutely.
we're not wrong. We're just simply in a different place and space. And we really need to just find our way, with a roadmap or blueprint, to the place where you want to be.
Absolutely. And somebody watching this video, can you give them 3 pointers to help them start heading in the right direction?
Wow, 3 pointers. First, I would say just really be honest with yourself, because oftentimes we want to either sugarcoat, deny, um, we want to, kind of really cover up what the truth is about why
Mm,
you're doing what you're doing, or
yeah.
actually where you are right now, because we want to look like we're either bigger than what we are. We want to feel, like we're more successful than we are.
Mm,
And so if you can't be honest with yourself, then you really can't start to fix the issue.
yeah.
um, the second thing I would say is, now that you've looked at it and you're really honest with yourself, make a decision about the business as a whole, a decision about your path that you want to take, because sometimes it's just really about pivoting. In the
Mm,
business, you may do similar work, you may do or decide you want to do a different audience, target audience, or even niche. And so you got to decide, what is it that I'm going to do right now? And then once you
mm,
made your decision, the third thing pointer I would give is to document.
mm,
Document what you do currently in your business, and that will inform you going, either handing over the business to someone else, or when you're delegating, it'll help that person know this is what we're doing in the business, so you can go and pursue other things if that's what your honest assessment has really told you to do, and you
yeah,
can
yeah.
think about the next step from
Absolutely. I love that. And documentation is something small businesses aren't known for, like those
right.
SOPs, right? Teaching them the standards of procedure,
Yes.
because a lot of times people do the work. And when I'm helping business owners unpack what they do, we do those time studies, right? Where every hour they have to write down what they've been doing for that hour. And we
Mm-hmm.
do that for a month,
Mm-hmm.
and they hate it. And I
I'm
hate it
sure.
for them. I hate it for them because when you've been in business for too long, for so long, you become automatic in a lot of things that you don't see
Yes,
yourself doing them.
exactly.
And so you
Exactly.
have to slow it down and unpack all those different things. And that's why it ideally it goes for 30 days. And they're like, oh, but in doing that, they learn who they need, like
Yes.
by based on what they do in their business. And it's not one size fit all. So when
Mm-hmm.
you all are feeling like you're stressed out and you're burnt out and you don't want to do it another day, like you
Mm-hmm.
while you love your clients, you have the self-care. I love
Yes.
that you said that, because a lot of times we treat our clients very well, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't treat ourselves well.
No, we don't, because we literally will run ourselves in the ground, trying to make things work, try to implement a new marketing plan, trying to come up with product ideas,
Yeah.
all the things, all the hats again that we're wearing, and we neglect our sleep. We
Mm,
don't eat well. We definitely don't exercise.
mm,
And our relationships start to suffer because our mental health starts to suffer because we
Mm,
are really wanting this to really, really work. And
yeah.
so then your self-esteem gets beat up. your just you're exhausted and you
Yeah.
can't think clearly, and I'm sure you're not taking supplements, vitamins, or anything like that. You probably, subsisting on takeout,
Yeah.
so it's just all those things just lead you down a path of more pain, suffering, burnout, overwhelm,
Mm,
overwork, until you get to the point where you just give it up, or you end up in the hospital
mm.
for an emergency. And no
We
one
don't want
wants
that.
that.
No, well,
No
no,
one.
we don't want that. And then you have that internal, the internal voice doing the whole imposter syndrome. Well, you're not
Yes.
good enough for this anyway. Well, why are
Right.
you doing this? Well, you don't know what you're doing anyway. Telling us
Mhm.
that we're not good enough when we know very well that we've been, like you were saying, answering questions and supporting people and doing the things that we do, but because we're so deep in and we've not really did our self-care to kind
Mhm.
of decompress, to kind of, you know, get to a space of peace,
Yeah.
then our brain is this, we can't sleep at night,
Mm-mm.
and if we are self-medicating, we'll say a glass of wine or a pill
Yeah.
or whatever, all those things we do to keep it going. But sooner or later, it's time to stop and regroup.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And if you don't regroup, if you don't reconnect with yourself,
Yeah.
then you will continuously spin your wheels.
Mhm.
You'll do things that don't matter anymore. You
Mm,
will beat yourself up, and you'll just find yourself in a place of despair, pretty
yeah.
much. So
Spinning in place.
yeah, and so it's important to really integrate self-care on a daily basis. From the
Hmm.
time you get up, making decisions about how your day is going to go for your mental health and wellness, to eating well, drinking enough water. Please drink water
Yeah,
because
I know. I
it's
know.
so important. We're like 70% water. Our bodies need it and crave it.
Exactly.
So that's self-care in and of itself.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's a lot to it, and I think that integrating self-care, sustainable self-care, little simple things, and I share that in my Self-Care Oasis newsletter here on LinkedIn.
Oh,
People
great.
get those tips, how to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. I have one of my students, I teach GED math through the
Mhm.
week, and one of my students has the app that tells us when it's time to drink water. It makes the
Mhm.
water sound. And we're like,
Mhm.
oh, it's time for everybody to drink water. I love that. I love that. Because
Yes.
I don't remember, right? Unless I have it sitting next to me, I don't
Mhm.
remember that, I need to hydrate.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we don't realize how much power our brain uses when we are
Mm,
working, when we're processing, when we
mm.
are, thinking really hard about the next great thing that we're going to do, when we're doing reports or whatever the busy work in our business is. The brain needs nutrients, it needs hydration in order to
Absolutely.
work well, to be clear, so that we're not overtaxing it.
Absolutely. And see that, and that's the thing, if we were outside working like labor, right? We would
Mhm.
say, "Oh, I need to drink water." But when
Mhm.
you're at home and you're thinking, "Oh, well, I'm just sitting at the desk, it's no problem." And that's just like you said,
Mhm.
we don't give the brain enough fluid. We don't give our bodies
Right.
enough fluid to do what we need to do. And
Mhm.
as a result of that, we have poor health.
Yes, and you know what? If you notice, when you're sitting and you're, like, in the zone, you're kinda concentrating, you notice that you get hungry, you wanna snack on things.
Mhm.
That's because your brain is using so much brain power, it just needs to be fed, and
Absolutely.
which also includes drinking your water as
Yeah.
well. And I'm not saying I'm perfect and I do it all the time, but I do keep, like, a, water bottle that has its own filter inside
Mm.
so that I can just make sure I stay hydrated as well.
Absolutely. That's a good thing. That's a good point to have.
Mhm.
Is drink your water.
Yes.
Drink your water. So yeah, so I love, love, love this. So historically, like before this, what other occupation did you have to
Oh,
keep
wow.
when you start
Yes.
talking about answering questions from
Sure.
those people around you?
Absolutely. So I was, I guess kind of still am a technical writer, which is why I know about business processes and everything,
Mm-hmm.
because one of my jobs is documenting
Mm.
all the jobs, all the business processes within the company, which, most people think, oh, you just write instruction manuals, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's part of it. But the
Yeah,
SOPs definitely had a lot of hand in that.
absolutely.
Also, an instructional designer, creating courses is part one of my professions as well. Um, and that's for internal field technicians, etc. And then I also spent a lot of time as a tech trainer. So
Mhm.
I taught people how to use their different software. So the main one being is Microsoft SharePoint. I
Okay.
was actually an instructor going around the country teaching Microsoft SharePoint, and then also inside organizations, because part of my job was to create SharePoint sites so that for the end user, so they can use it as their portal for their
Mhm.
documentation management, etc. So those are some like the big buckets of the work that I've done before.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to work with SharePoint. I worked at an insurance company that had just
Mhm.
adapted that as
Okay.
our means for project management, right?
Hmm.
Project team.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
so very familiar
Mhm.
with those things. I had forgotten. That
Yes.
part of my
No.
brain, that was 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. So that
Yes.
part of my brain had definitely went to sleep. But that I do remember having to have the training on how
Hmm.
to use it appropriately.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
and
that
make
was
sure
one of the
everything is mapped. Yeah.
yeah, one of the I'm definitely one of the trainers to do that, and of course train in other areas as well.
Hmm. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you and I met on the 100 through Jerry Lynn.
Hmm. Yes.
And so how did you feel about that the women gathering, those
That was
sessions?
amazing. I love that because I met people I would never have met before. You being one of those people, and so it was a really good for me to see who else is out there talking what their business is all about, what
Hmm.
they are bringing to the world, the impact that they're making. And I just highly recommend, because I think this year I made a commitment to myself to connect with more people, to
Mm.
expand my network, and to make sure that I am getting in rooms and I am talking to people. And so far, it's been I've met my goal. I've
I love
probably
it.
gone over my goal with meeting people and then connecting with them through these different online and in-person events.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because that's important too, right? To
Yes.
build our own business network
Mhm.
of people of
Absolutely.
like minds.
Yes, it
It's
is
a,
very
yeah,
important.
absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I had a goal of having 124 businesses certified by
Ooh,
November. Very
nice.
aggressive goal. And I've
Yes.
been chugging it along, getting it done. So yeah. So this has been really, really good for me to
Mhm.
meet more ladies who are doing marvelous things around the world. Like
Yes.
it's amazing. I love LinkedIn for that. Shout out to LinkedIn.
And
Love
I know,
LinkedIn for
right?
that. Yeah. Love love Geraldine and that group and the other women's groups that are there, being in that community of women that are doing things, learning about cross marketing and collaborations and all the things that collaboration is queen and that. So yeah, but all of that is needed when you. I love when I can connect. I actually connected two women in London
Mm.
because their business complemented, and
Ah,
so I like that experience, right?
yes.
Because
Okay.
we all have communities, and when I can help people connect, also two guys,
Mhm.
one that lives in Atlanta and
Okay.
another that lives in Nashville, they're doing the same thing. I connected them last week. Like I
Mhm.
love connecting people.
Ah, yes, yes. That's that, and we definitely need connectors like you, to help those who may be a little bit more shy, who are stuck behind the computer screens,
Mm.
who are trying to do it all themselves. And some people are using social media as well, but
Yeah,
there's this power in connecting with people, getting to know them, and building relationships.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So whoever's watching this, can you close us with what you would like them to take away from this interview?
Yeah, so I would love those who are listening to remember that having a business is amazing. It's a wonderful experience. It definitely is a personal development journey for you because there's a lot that goes into the business. However, I also want to say that it's so important to prioritize your self care.
Mm,
To make sure that you're taking care of yourself so that you can take care of your business. And if you're not
yes,
able to do that, then your business will crumble just like you end up crumbling because you've not given yourself enough, what dare I say, love,
mm,
as much love as you love your business. So you need to love yourself too.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. I think that those are great words of wisdom that you share with our community. So thank you, thank you, thank you for your yes, for agreeing to come on and talk to my audience about who you are and what you do and how they can connect and be a part of the blissful community. Tell them about blissful. Yeah, let's not forget that. So tell us about blissful.
Sure. So, my company is called BlyssTech Solutions, and
Hmm.
also have a sister company called the Blyssful Life Podcast, and company. And it is where, like mentioned before, we help business owners, exhausted executives to transform their burnout into better boundaries, more balance, and bliss. And so I loved being able to expand my work as a tech support person and strategist, fractional CTO, into the wellness space as well, because so many of us are struggling with the self care and wellness piece. And we really need to have that voice inside the industry of business.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you again for joining me on the Business Plugs Mixer. And my name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug. I just plugged you in to Samantha Gregory and how she can take you from burnt out to back in the game, right? So
Mhm.
reach out to her. You have all her social media links, you have all her links to her business. Reach out to her if you feel like that you are overwhelmed, right? Overwhelmed and overworked, and you just need to be reconnected and re-engaged. Go ahead and reach out to her in any of the links that you see. Tell her you saw her here on the Business Plugs Mixer. And I'll see you next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, here on the Business Plugs Mixer. Have a great week, everyone. Good night.